Smize, girl, smize. I'm so silly. I'm so silly. Hi guys, this is Nika. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, thank you guys so much for watching and liking and subscribing and all the things, you know. Thank you guys so much for all the wonderful comments that you've been leaving. It's definitely encouraging, especially as a new YouTuber, to see that you guys are liking what I am creating. So more plus size fashion videos are in the works as we speak, so definitely stay tuned for those. But today I wanted to pop in to talk to you about something that's a little bit personal for me, but I figured that it could possibly serve as a cautionary tale of sorts, just in case any of you can relate to where I've been or some part of my journey along the way. So today we're gonna talk about regrets, specifically my biggest regret that I've had. And I just hate having regrets about anything. And I mean, obviously nobody likes to regret things. It's not a good feeling, it's no fun, you know, obviously. But for me, I think it's especially challenging because I tend to overthink things. And so it's usually pretty easy for me to dwell on things, to ruminate on them, you know, to beat myself up even, mentally of course, when I feel like I've done something wrong, or when something's just not sitting right with me, or when I feel bad about something. As much as I can, I try to live my life in a way that minimizes the chance of regrets. And I don't know, that probably sounds weird, but basically I try to think things through. I try to think ahead. I try to make sure that I'm weighing out every situation ahead of time so that hopefully I won't look back and regret something. And yeah, like I said, I overthink. I said it, I admit it. My name is Nika and I'm an overthinker. And so for me, having regrets just kind of really eats me up inside. My biggest regret is all of the time that I wasted. And that would be specifically in my teenage years and in my early adulthood, just time that I wasted not allowing myself to be happy, not accepting my body for what it is, not accepting myself for who I am, and not really understanding how to love myself. Like a lot of other plus size women, I have struggled with my weight my whole life. I have been big, I guess, or plus size, or fat, or whatever word you like to use, since I was a child. I did get teased and mocked and harassed and all of those mean things. And all of that stuff really only lasted through like my young childhood years, you know, maybe elementary school up to the time that I got to junior high or something. But by then the damage had already been done. And so I had a terrible self-image. I felt like there was nothing that I could do to be happy other than lose weight and get skinnier, period. Like that was it. And looking back, I'm baffled by how untrue that is and how convinced I was. I was just absolutely convinced that in order to live my life or to be happy or to do the things that I like, that first I had to see a different person in the mirror or see a much lower number on the scale. And I wasted so much time feeling that way, letting myself get down about that kind of stuff. And it feels so ridiculous being who I am now, looking back at who I was then. And I just keep thinking, like, I just so wish that I didn't spend so much time overthinking it, feeling self-conscious, wondering about what people would say or what people would think if a noticeably fat girl were to embrace her body and love herself and be happy anyway. I mean, the thought boggles my mind because back then I couldn't possibly fathom being fat and happy, you know? And so, or not for me at least. I'm sure there were always people out there and I admired those people, and I just was wondering what the secret was. I always figured that there was a secret and that there was a way to unlock it, but I never quite knew what it was. And all of that time that I spent worrying and waiting and wasting time, I mean, I can't really say that I completely regret it, just because I do believe that everything happens for a reason and we are who we are for a reason. And so it could just be that I was meant to learn these things, or that I wasn't ready or meant to learn these things back then. But I'm so thankful that I've learned them now. And so all of that time that I spent being self-conscious and wondering and obsessing over, you know, who I wasn't, and the fact that I didn't look like everybody else, and the fact that I felt like everyone else would obsess about it too. You know, I was basically holding myself back. That's what it was. I was holding myself back based on the false realities that were going on inside my head. Obviously, it's only natural that we live and we learn. And like I said, I feel like we experience certain things for a reason. So I feel like it's just something that we all go through. For me, it was my weight. For someone else, it might be their height, whether they're way too tall or way too small, according to some people. I mean, it could be anything. And for me, every time that I thought about buying a new outfit or something, I would tell myself, no, you know what, you've got to wait. Since we're gonna lose weight anyway, you know, what's the point in shopping now? You know, because we're on our hustle, we're getting healthier, we're getting fitter, you know, no reason to do that. Until the next year would roll around and I'd be just about as heavy. And at that point, I'd still be wearing those same old clothes that I had before, but by then they'd be worn out and frumpy. And still I'd tell myself like, oh, wait till you get your new body, then you can treat yourself to a whole new wardrobe. And I mean, this could just go on forever, as I'm sure you can imagine, because if I've been big my whole life and I'm in my late 20s now, how much longer was I gonna keep waiting until I finally just decided to stop worrying and just stop it, really just stop it and live my life, you know? And I think that's what the turning point was. The thought that I could go on forever feeling this way if I let myself, you know, and I could go on forever never ever treating myself to an outfit or a piece of clothing that made me feel good just because I wasn't in the body that I thought I was supposed to be in. And just like the clothes, you know, until I lost weight, I wasn't allowed to pledge for the sorority I wanted to pledge for. Not because they said I couldn't, but because I said I couldn't. Or maybe I was stopping myself from joining that dance class that I really, really wanted to join. But of course, I don't want to be the one fat girl that everybody's looking at, even though I probably would have killed it, okay? And so, you know, just thinking back, it's like, damn it, Nika, why did you waste so much time? And imagine how far you could have come by now had you realized all of this before. I mean, just imagine. But of course, shoulda, coulda, woulda, as they say. And so I know that I can't go back to change it. And at this point, what I've done is I've basically just dedicated myself to not making that mistake again. So whether that means feeling comfortable treating myself to nice clothes on a plus size body and knowing that it's okay for a plus size body to feel confident and happy and even sexy if they wanted to in an outfit that fits their body. I mean, it's like back then, but now it's like, duh, like, why did you not know this, Nika? Why did you not know this? Anyway, and so I say all that to say that if you're someone who's struggling with perfectionism and the sense that, you know, you have to be perfect to start, whether it is pledging for that sorority or starting a YouTube channel, which was my recent struggle, but hey, look at me, I did it, right? Or going out and deciding that you're gonna get a bathing suit for the summer and actually walk out on the beach and stretch your stuff. I mean, whatever it is that you're holding yourself back from, that we're holding ourselves back from, I feel like we owe it to ourselves to release that and just let it go. Just let it go. Just realize that the world will not end if we decide to take a chance, to step out on a leap of faith. And you know, it's definitely not easy. I will say that it's an act of courage. It really is. It's an act of courage to be able to stand up and say, hey world, no, I'm kidding. To be able to stand up and say, you know, this is who I am, you know, and I'm okay with that. And I hope that other people are okay with that. But if not, that's their problem, not my problem. And had I realized this years ago, man, I'm just saying. And I'm so excited now that I'm here looking back on how much I didn't know and being able to feel proud of myself for how far I've come. I'm just so excited about what comes next and what's in store for the future and where I can go from here. And you know, as far as I'm concerned, the sky is the limit at this point. Years ago, if someone were to tell me that I would record myself trying on clothes, especially clothes that might not be flattering or might not be fit or might be revealing or somewhat provocative, or even like a swimsuit in my torrid inside the dressing room. I mean, what? That would not even, no, just no. You're talking about a different Nika. That's not happening with this girl right here. I don't know who you're confusing me with, but that's just, there's no chance. No chance. Let alone even the thought that I would want to record myself and that I would obsess about starting a YouTube channel. It feels like I'm just a different person, you know. It feels like I'm a different person, and I'm so thankful for how far I've come. And just know, if you're not over on this side yet, just know that it may not be comfortable. Of course, stepping outside of your comfort zone is supposed to be somewhat scary, but it is totally, totally, totally worth it on the other side. And so that's not to say that I don't still worry about things sometimes. There are certain things that I'm still not comfortable with doing or with starting or with trying, but I am taking steps to get through even those things, and I am just leaps and bounds away from where I used to be. Yay me? No, kidding. So please, 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 and this is for anybody struggling with anything or that's hesitant about anything that they actually want to go after, please don't let yourself hold yourself back. And don't let anybody around you do it either. If you know it's something that you want and something you're really passionate about and something that you deserve, then you owe it to yourself to go for it. And I definitely don't want you guys to end up like me many years from now, regretting things, looking back, wishing that you woulda or you coulda or you shoulda, and at this point not being able to do anything about it. So yes, although it's a regret for me, I have learned my lesson, and I am trying to knock down any barriers that are in my way one by one. And like I said, it's not easy. I'm not trying to say it is. It's not like, all right, just ditch all the insecurities and let's go. It's not that simple at all, but it does take work, you know, and it does take actually trying. You actually have to try. It doesn't just happen on its own. You have to program yourself, or your mind even, in a way that allows you to be kind to yourself and to push yourself, but in a good way, towards what you want. And so let's just say these days I have no problem buying myself nice things or buying myself clothing that allows me to express myself and how I'm feeling without worrying about what he's gonna say or what she's gonna say, or oh no, they're gonna think this fat girl has confidence and they're gonna crush me, or you know, no, I don't worry about that anymore, because I realized that those were all things made up in my mind. And regardless, we're never ever gonna be able to make everybody happy. Somebody's always gonna have something to say about something at some point, and it's usually probably none of their business anyway. And so what I've decided is that I have to let their thoughts and their opinions be their business and not mine, and definitely not my problem. So that's all I gotta say about that. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Also, if you have any regrets that you would want to warn your younger self about, you know, kind of the cautionary tale thing, what would you say to your younger self to avoid those regrets? Let me know in the comment section down below. I am interested. I'm sure I'm not the only one dealing with something and wishing that I knew what I know now back then. But please do leave that comment, and also consider subscribing for more. Bye. How are we feeling about this? Be nice if it could stay in place. Stop falling, damn it. Stop falling. Okay.